Bus Ride, Part 1. It's early in the morning and you are waiting for the bus like always. You haven't had the best morning, so people were the last thing you wanted to deal with. You weren't really big on social places. You hopped on the bus, thinking it would be the normal regulars who you've gotten quite fond of. There was Mrs. Frank and Mr. Frank. They were an old couple who lived in the city of your job. Your job was quite far due to it being the only job close to your apartment and in your field of expertise. They were one every morning to go to the small cafe they met at. Their love story is one you are very familiar with, since they tell people on the bus all the time. They always ask how you are and keep in contact with you on your life events. Due to living in a different city from your close family, it is nice having them around a lot, kind of like parental figures. The next regular is Nᴜᴇ. Now, Nᴜᴇ is an interesting fellow. He is around his early 20s, possibly late teens. He is in your apartment complex, so he comes over quite often for dinners or even hangouts. He is your best friend at the current moment, all because you and him stole each other's laundry baskets by accident. Nᴜᴇ and you are very opposite of each other. He is more the flirty, outgoing type, while you are more kept to yourself and quiet. Considering being polar opposites, you and him get along just fine. When you and him hang out, there isn't a care in the world, and you guys can be yourselves. The last regular is someone you don't know all that well. He sits in the middle of the bus, and he always wears headphones. You've never had the confidence to ask him his name, and you don't plan to. From what Mrs. Frank has told you, he's quite the handful. Despite his blonde locks and golden brown eyes giving him the soft guy look, he is very rude. She said she has heard him bad-mouthing anyone who tries to talk to him. He isn't the people person, even if it's someone who rides with him. Nᴜᴇ's tried to get his name and tried to talk to him, but the mysterious guy ignores him or tells him to mind his own business. He scares you, no doubt, that there is something that makes him seem hurt. You haven't made eye contact with him a lot, but on the rare times you had, you saw the hurt, pain, and just overall sadness in them. With today being the way it is, you didn't want a lot of people on the bus, but no doubt the bus was packed, person to person, some standing, some on the floor, but there was one free spot. Him, of all people, his seat was the last free one. You weren't quite sure why, but seeing the little kids picking their nose on the floor, old people sitting in the front seats, and weird pervs standing behind women staring where they shouldn't, people pissed you off. His seat seemed like heaven. Nᴜᴇ was in the seat behind the mysterious man and gave you the eye of, don't do it. But you did. You sat down next to the man, keeping your eyes on your lap, not wanting to talk to him, or anyone for that matter. May I sit? You asked, before he looked at you. You looked at him and started to panic. It wasn't too bad, but enough for him to notice. He looked at you as well, and a light pink blush danced across his cheeks. Hi, you said in almost a whisper. He stiffened up at the sound of your voice and cracked a smile, but once he noticed it, he shook his head and looked back at the window. Sure. Hello, Hawaiian, he said, calmly looking out the window. You gasped a little, not expecting him to know your name. Your eyes widened while sitting down, and looking at your lap as you first blinked. He looked to the front of the bus and took his headset off. He turned towards you a little bit, and you looked at him in confusion. You know, the first time I saw you on the bus, I secretly hoped you sat next to me, he said in a small whisper, only enough for you to hear. You had seemed so happy and not annoying compared to most people, he said with an eye roll. You chuckled a little, which made his small smile/smirk appear again. I know today you mostly only sat next to me because it was packed, but if you don't mind, I would like to sit next to you more often. You continued to stare at him with a sincere look, but also confused due to the sudden encounter. After a long time of silence, I would like that too, you stated happily with a big closed-eyed grin. His face was now beet red and he chuckled shakily. Great. Also, it's Tsukishima. His name. You weren't sure what about it made you feel so light and fluffy on the inside, but you liked it. You lit up and smiled even larger, if that was possible. Why Ellen, you said, stuttering a little due to shock. He nodded and put his headset back on. You fiddled with your hands. After 10 minutes, you arrived at your stop. You grabbed a hold of your bag and stood up. When you did, you felt someone tap your arm and you looked over to see Kay waving by with a small smile. You politely waved back, and with that, you started to walk off the bus to Mr. and Mrs. Frank, wishing them a good day. Hello everyone. So obviously this one is posted early. I stayed home from school today because my mom feels sick and my brother felt sick. My school is closer to our house than his is, because he switched middle schools anyways. So now he goes to my old middle school, so that's fun. He knows a bunch of the teachers I had are actually the only ones that have stayed there. So now he has like my old 7th grade English teacher, my 8th grade history teacher, my 7th grade history teacher, and my 8th grade science teacher. Math, I think my 7th grade math teacher and she's the same person. I had her for both 7th and 8th. I think she left, which makes me kind of sad. I know my personal counselor, she's still there. I love her so much. I think I still have her number actually. But yeah, so she knows my brother and they're like really acquainted. So I feel like this is the best fit for him, because over here it's I don't like the kids over here. They're really bad. But yeah. So I can't wait for summer. Anyways, I'll see you guys tomorrow, or actually maybe today with part 2, who knows. But anyways, have a good day, have a good night, have a good morning, whenever you are, and I'll see you guys today or tomorrow with part 2. Bye!